Hey, good afternoon. Mr. Wagner here. Today we're going to work on sounds and sound effects and get that playing in our game. As I was going and making this lesson, I did notice a little bug. So let's see if we fix that first. When I run, notice, okay, so I'm playing, I crash. Now notice the bass has stopped. And then when I go again, the bass is still stopped. So we really need to start that bass up again. So let me go ahead and do that real quick. That is in here. See, Flappy is stopped. And here's where we're restarting the code. So we'll just do bass dot stopped equals false. Okay, that should restart that bass. Let's try it. Bing, crash. The bass stops when he hits the pipe, okay? And then we start again and the bass is going. All right, so today what we're gonna do is we're gonna work on sounds. So let's see what we can do about sounds. Now, before we begin, I want you to look at our sounds that we have. Notice that they are in the audio folder. And for each sound, we have like die.ogg and .wave and hit.ogg and then hit.wave. Now, a wave file is a sound file, and that's kind of like a standard old Windows wave file. That's just what they call them. Then MP3s came along, made everything a lot smaller as far as file size. But MP3s were like tied down with a whole bunch of legalese. So the open source people came up with the .ogg. And a lot of gamers, a lot of game programmers use this .ogg file, mainly because it is open source and free, and it uses a smaller file. I think these OGG files are about 10% the size of the WAV files and don't have any legal requirements around them. So WAV files don't have any legal things either, but the OGGs are a lot smaller. So that's why the game people use them, and that's why we will use them. Okay, so I'm going to shut this down, and let's see what we can do about getting Pygame to make some noise. Okay. All right, first off, we are going to scroll up right here under pygame.init, and we're going to put all our sound stuff, maybe just right here. Pound sound stuff. Okay. Now to get Pygame to make sound, we need to do a couple things. We need to initialize what's known as the mixer, which sort of mixes all the sounds that can be played in a game. And we need to load the sound itself, and then finally we need to play the sound. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to make some sound objects, and they're not too hard to do. Okay, so let's do pygame dot mixer dot init. Okay, so that initializes our Pygame mixer, and we're going to say audio folder equals quote audio. Okay, kind of like what we did here where we had our sprites folder. Okay, so we have an audio folder too. Okay, so there's our audio folder. And then we're going to make like a global volume, okay? And as I was coding this, the sound was too loud and it sort of annoyed me. So I'm just going to make this 0.1, and the values for this volume can be anywhere from 0 to say 1.0, okay? So it's a number less than 1 but greater than 0. Okay, so let's create these sound objects. The first one we're going to create is called swoosh. Swoosh. And that one is going to be a pygame.mixer.sound. Okay, and then here we have to put in our path. So we do os dot path dot join. Okay, very similar to the images or to the sprites. And then we need our audio folder, and we need swoosh.ogg, just like that. Okay, and if we look over here, you will find in the audio folder, you'll see swoosh.ogg. Okay, so basically we need to do all that for all the rest of these, and that may take a little bit of time. But first we're going to do this. We're going to say swoosh.set volume. Okay, so whatever the volume is. By the way, if you set that volume to 0 somewhere in your game, that would turn off the sound essentially, which might be useful depending on what you're doing. Okay, so that's swoosh. I'm going to copy and paste this because we're also going to need wing. Wing, and wing. It looks like each place is 3 different places to change it. We need point. And we need hit. And we need die. Okay, so we have swoosh, wing, point, hit, and die. Okay, and so let's go ahead and see what we can do about putting one of these sound effects in place. Let's start out by adding our swoosh, and the swoosh happens when you first start the game. Okay, so when we first start the game is in waiting mode, right? If Fabby is waiting. And what we do to play a sound is just like this. Pygame dot mixer dot sound dot play swoosh. Just like that. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and run this and you'll see. So when I click, I don't know if it's going to hear on the video, but did you hear that? It was kind of quiet, but it made a sound. It went whoosh. Okay. So there's our swoosh sound, and let's see what we can do about creating these other sounds. Let me copy this because I think that'll make it easy to add these other sounds to it. When the game is playing, we want the wings to flap and make that sound. Okay, and that's right here, else flap. So and the sound for the wing is wing. Okay, so let's run that and just test. Hope you can hear that. Okay, so that one worked really well. Let's keep scrolling down and just see where we can put things. So here, this is when we're getting a score. So this is where we get a point. So let's go ahead and put the play point here. Okay, let's run that. So when we go through, you should hear a coin sound. Did you hear that? Hope so. Okay, we'll close that. We got two more things. We got one where Fabby hits a pipe, and when he hits the pipe, it goes thwack. Okay, it goes, it sounds like a hit. And then when Fabby hits the ground, it's an aw. Okay? Okay, so here's where Fabby hits a pipe. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put that thing in there, but I'm going to say hit here. He hits the ground, that's like right here, line 1 or 266. I'm going to put aw down here. I'm sorry, it's die, I think, right? Yeah, play die. It's kind of an aw sound. Okay, so let's run that. Now when I hit the thing, I don't know if you can hear that, but there's definitely a bug in there, because one thing is it's still hitting the pipe, it's still going back, 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 and it's also going aw, aw, aw. Oh boy, that's annoying. That's almost like, some EDM music or something like that. So what we want to do here is we only want to hit the wall once. And I want you to notice that when I hit the wall once, immediately the bass stops, okay? So I can use that bass stopped as an if statement to then only make that sound once. So if I do something like this, I can say if bass dot, stopped, then we're going to do that, right? Because the moment I do bass stopped is true, if not bass stopped, okay? So bass is not stopped, it'll play the hit sound, but then once the bass is stopped, then it will no longer hit that hit sound again, okay? And very similarly, I have Fabby stopped as true here. So I can say if not Fabby dot stopped, then we play the die sound, and now Fabby is stopped is true. And then, when the game resets, the bass will start again, right? And Fabby will start again. Okay, so it should all work. So let's see what we got. Flapping, flapping, we hit. Yep, it just works one time. If it falls, it always says the woo. Okay, actually, now this is kind of interesting. When it falls and hits, the pipe still moves until it hits. So really, when I hit that ground, I also need to stop the pipe and also the bass. Okay, which is basically this code here, 261, because on this, we're colliding with the pipe, and this sort of assumes that we collide with the pipe first and then we hit the ground. But what if we hit the ground first and then hit the pipe? Let's see if let's go ahead and put this code in here, and then let's try it out. And now we restart. Oh, beautiful. Look at this. This works so well. Okay. So if I hit the ground, the pipes stop, the bass stops, everything stops. And that's just the way it should be. All right, everybody. Well, I'll tell you what, that's been one heck of a journey. We have now officially written Pong and Breakout and Flappy Bird. It's been a lot of good learning here. I hope you have enjoyed the course. I hope you have done a lot of coding along the way and enjoyed it. Of course, please send me feedback of whatever you think could be better, whatever you think didn't really work really good. So so I can make things more exciting. And everybody have a wonderful time, and stay tuned to Code with Mr. Wagner, because I plan on having other courses to teach you other great things. All right, everybody, till then, take care and have a wonderful day.